have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kosmyna welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be, wherever you are in the world. When you hit that play button, so glad you did. You found the Genesis Frequency Podcast with me, Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmyna, coming at you with another episode. And welcome in. I am so thrilled that you join me and come back again and again and again. And if you're brand new, welcome to you too as well. As you just heard, this show is all about personal development, professional development, leadership development, spiritual development, and looking at the different areas of our lives and accomplishing the goals that we would set for ourselves, the worthy ideal, what we would love to move into our field of experience. I like to call it whole life prosperity, because we look at every area: finance and career, mental and educational, social and cultural, physical and health, spiritual and ethical, family and home. So that's, the big ones that always come up are relationships, time and money freedom, and of course, health and physical fitness, and more so, the uh, getting the waistline under control and trimming down. And I've been on that journey myself. So naturally, I'm attracting a lot of those people that want to work on that. And we're taking a deeper dive into that aspect of goal setting and goal realization and the work that we do. So anything that you want to talk about, you feel like you're stuck, whether it's with dropping a few pounds or whether it's achieving your professional goals or your personal goals, moving into the income or the accumulating the wealth that you'd like to experience, or just what you want for you, reach out. I can help you see the blind spots where you may might usually get stuck, right? And we do this for corporations too. We just use different language, right? We impact at the level and influence at the level of behavior. So therefore we can impact the culture and the individual's performance, productivity, their mastery of priority management and their schedule, leading to a bottom line that improves. So all these things. Let's have a conversation. Successappointment.com. That's my calendar, successappointment.com. It'll open up in your time zone and you can schedule a time to speak with me. I'd love to do that, whether it's for you individually or working a program in your company. So welcome back to the Genesis Frequency. Again, I'm Dr. Stephen J. Kosmyna, and today I just got back from a conference and I spent a lot of time with colleagues that were either graduate alumni or whatever you want to call them, or the Emerson Institute, as in Ralph Waldo Emerson. And so I've been looking at a lot of his material lately and just so inspiring. He has always been inspiring and a key figure in the transcendentalist movement that moved into this country, the mid, 1800s or so, something like that. So I want to spend time with this great thinker and one of the great voices of personal growth, spiritual insight, and self-reliance, really, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Emerson had a remarkable ability to combine spirituality, philosophy, individuality, and human potential into concise statements that still challenge and inspire us today. I mean, you can just Google Ralph Waldo Emerson quotes and you can come up with stuff that Man, that's enough right there. You don't even have to enroll in a course. You just sit with the quote, ponder it, let it sink in, stew over it a little bit. He had this remarkable ability. And what I love about Emerson is this: he constantly reminded people that greatness, and this is what I talk about here, right? That greatness is not something outside of them. Greatness is not something outside of you. It is something awakened from within. So today I want to take several powerful Emerson quotes and explore with you what they mean for our personal and professional development. And more importantly, how we can apply them to our lives right now. Because you know that I'm all about application and action. I don't just sit here and lecture. I talk about stuff that I have applied to my life, to circumstances, to events, whatever's taking place. And I've pulled from this body of wisdom and applied it in my own life. So that's what I always do, so that you, whatever you're facing, whatever you're going through, whatever you're dealing with, or whatever you're moving toward, you can take the nuggets out of this podcast and apply them. So make no mistake, there's tremendous value in these episodes, even though you're getting them for free. So quote number one: what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Isn't that a profound statement? I mean, we've probably heard it before, and maybe we don't really pay it much attention. But let's deepen into this a little bit. Because you know what? Most people spend their lives focused on the external. What happened in the past, what may happen in the future, right? What others think, what circumstances appear to say. But Emerson redirects our attention inward, as I so often talk about in the show. He reminds us that the greatest power available to us is not external circumstance, but internal capacity, what lies within us: potential, creativity, faith, resilience, vision, awareness, the ability to choose again and again and again, the ability to begin again and again and again, the ability to rise again. All things I'm intimately familiar with. And this is one of the most important lessons in personal growth, is from my perspective. You cannot build a powerful outer life while neglecting the inner life. Remember, I always talk from the position of be, do, have, right? What are we being? What's inside? You can't neglect the inner life. Your inner world shapes how you respond to adversity. It shapes how you interpret opportunity. Man, is that true? So many people just opportunity is just over and over and again presenting itself, but they're stuck in that mindset. This is a lot of my lot in life. This is the cards I've been dealt, but it's just marching right in front of them. Opportunity. But what you're being, right? It shapes how you interpret that. It shapes whether you move forward or hold yourself back. And professionally, this matters tremendously, because skill alone is rarely enough. I say that a lot. Skill alone is rarely enough. People rise in leadership not merely because of technical ability, but because of inner qualities: confidence, presence, discipline, vision, emotional steadiness. The outer world may create pressure, but what lies within determines response. So perhaps the real question is not what's happening around me, but what resources within me have I not fully activated yet? So I would just, you know, push back from the busyness a little bit and sit with this. Sit with this for a moment. What lies behind us, what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. And this is so true. I can relate to this because we're talking about, the technical skill, or skills for that matter, whatever they are. It's rarely enough to move into leadership, but so many people and so many upper management, executive management, they look at it, oh, look at, Joseph, man, is he good on that high-low? I tell the story all the time. He's great on that high-low, man. He could drive that high-low in the middle of the warehouse, find a dime and pick it up and flip it over and put it back where he found it. But skill, that doesn't mean, let's promote Joe, let's promote him. It doesn't mean he's going to be a great leader. What's his inner qualities like? What's his confidence like? What's his presence like? His discipline, his vision, right? So this is something you should spend some time reflecting on. All right, quote number 2. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Wow. I think this quote speaks directly to courage. And courage, man, it's essential for growth. Because growth always requires movement beyond the familiar, right? We got to get out of our comfort zone, and it does take courage to do that. Just just did that. I'm doing due diligence over the last couple of months and making an investment, a decision to make an investment and expand our business, greatly expand our business into the weight loss, uh, pain management, skin tightening, and all that. Where how many people have goals around these things, and having just been on my journey, up and down, and finally finding something that works. Made a big investment in this, but man, it does take courage because we're moving out of the comfort zone. Growth always requires movement beyond the familiar. And most people wait for certainty before acting. I need something that's going to guarantee me that this is the result I'm going to get, or I'm not going forward with it. Right. Been there, you know. But leaders, creators, innovators, and visionaries understand something important. Hear me. Clarity often comes after movement begins. After movement begins. So we take the step, right? And I talked about that in the W.H. Murray quote last week, right? Commitment begin. Once we begin, all sorts of events, people, situations, circumstances move in to support us. Not before. Not before. Emerson here challenges us not to become imitators of life. That's what this is all about. Not to be imitators, but to be creators within it. To leave a trail means you are willing to trust your inner direction even when external validation is limited. Professionally, this may mean pursuing an unconventional idea, maybe starting the business, like with me and today, starting the new division, changing direction. We're not abandoning anything that we've done in the past. We're still fully committed to leadership development, but we're helping, we're kind of niching down because so often when we work with individuals on we always insist on personal goals and professional goals, one each, as we work through any program we do. And it doesn't matter if it's in the executive team, C-suite executives, or the consumer frontline facing individuals, personal goal and professional goal. And so often it has to do around health and physical fitness and weight release. So, you know, this quote, it's all about taking that step, changing direction, speaking up, leading differently. Personally, it may mean becoming the first person in your family to break an old cycle, to break the pattern, do a pattern interrupt in your own life and what's maybe been done for generations, to think differently, to dream differently, to live differently. And yes, that can feel uncomfortable because whenever you leave the familiar, fear appears. But fear is often a sign that growth is near, and it has been for me. The question is not, am I afraid? Right? The question is, will fear decide my direction? And that is so key because I would make a decision and then I'd waffle and I would go back. And then I just would, like I'm telling you, I'd push back and notice. And it was like, man, it was all green lights. All my guidance is saying move forward. But then when we listen to the voice of fear, or am I afraid? Is was I letting fear decide my direction? Was I feeding fear or feeding faith? Because you know what? When it comes down to the people who transform their lives are rarely the people who wait until fear disappears. It's not going to necessarily go away. They're the people who move with vision despite fear. And I'm not saying this is easy to do because I just did this. But you know what? When we work with people, when we talk to them about their big dream goals, we talk about, hey, you got to find something that is really calling to the longing and discontent that you've been experiencing probably your whole life because you put your dream back up on the shelf. And your dream should be so big that it excites you and really scares you at the same time. Oh, that's what's coming up. All right, quote number 3. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Remember, be, do, have. You got to decide, though. You got to make the commitment to who you're deciding to be. I love this quote because it places responsibility directly in our lap back into our hands. Emerson understood that destiny is not merely discovered, okay? It is developed. Too many people live reactively. I always talk about the steel ball and the pinball machine. Do they still have those? We live reactively, just bouncing off of one circumstance, event, whatever comes up, bouncing off it to the next one. People, they allow circumstance, environment, history, or opinion to define them. But growth, personal growth, professional growth begins when you become intentional about identity. Who are you becoming? Who am I here in this? What kind of person are you deciding to be? Disciplined, focused, healthy, purposeful, compassionate, courageous, moving forward from a position of emotional intelligence, reacting or responding appropriately, or perhaps not at all? All these decisions shape identity, and identity shapes behavior. This is why personal development matters so deeply. And it's not just in one or from one podcast episode. This is work we're called to do, and it matters. You're not simply improving performance, you are shaping character. You are shaping consciousness. You are shaping the person who shows up in relationships, leadership, business, and life. We really are. Again, be, do, have. I'm a metaphysician. I look at everything through the lens of cause and effect. It all starts with being. You're shaping who shows up. And here's something important. You do not become someone different overnight. So get that. I know we want it all now. This is so evident in the weight release arena every day. And I'm in so many groups doing my research, doing my due diligence, and along my own path. We all want it now, right? There's a law of gestation, order. It doesn't happen overnight. You become someone different through repeated decisions, consistent daily effort, making wise choices, daily choices, consistent actions, aligned habits. Professionally, successful people are not usually those who occasionally perform well. They are those who repeatedly choose behaviors aligned with growth. They're disciplined. Personally, transformation begins when your daily life starts matching the person you say you want to become. Gotta be it. You gotta move into it energetically, emotionally, in consciousness, in every thought, word, and action, in every affirmation you make, in the visualization you do. You have to see yourself as it. All right, time's moving along. Quote number 4. I want to do 5 of these. Quote number 4. Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. Oh boy, this is especially true when we're doing our visualization, when we're saying our supportive affirmations in the present tense, stating our goals, right? Affirming it it's so right now. This quote is especially important today. You know why? Because many people are exhausted. Man, we got to add the feeling tone. We got to add the enthusiasm. This is how we dial up the frequency to match what we want. So many people are just facing burnout, disconnected, emotionally flat. And yet, Emerson reminds us, and I have plenty of books on this and study this very deeply. It's one of our spiritual powers, superpowers, zeal. Emerson reminds us that enthusiasm is just, it's not shallow excitement. It's life energy directed toward purpose. It is engagement. It's emotional investment, if you will. It is aliveness. We got to bring it. We got to reach in and find that enthusiasm. I think it's the root of enthusiasm is Greek entheos, meaning God or spirit in us. Remember spirit rallies and pep rallies, right? Spirit day. Finding that enthusiasm for the team. You got to go in there and find it. Because it is aliveness. When enthusiasm disappears, what happens? Performance often declines, right? Creativity declines, vision declines. We become lethargic, unconscious. We're just going through the motions. We're not excited about anything. And those are usually people without any goals, right? And one reason people struggle professionally is not lack of capability, but that very loss of inspiration. They no longer feel connected to what they are doing. This is why it's so important to reconnect with meaningful goals. I can't say it enough. Goals that genuinely move you emotionally, goals that stretch you, goals that inspire you, that excite you, scare you at the same time, as I just mentioned. This enthusiasm creates momentum. People are enthusiastic, or I should say, people who are enthusiastic tend to persist longer. We know persistence is huge when it comes to personal and professional growth. So when you're enthusiastic, you stay the course. You recover faster. Sometimes we do get blindsided. Like, man, I was on a high, I was going, and then boom, life happened. But we recover faster when we're enthusiastic about our goals, right? We influence others more effectively. You just know it. You just love being around people that are enthusiastic, don't you? You bring stronger energy into rooms when you are enthusiastic, and you create movement around ideas. That's why you always find me addressing the feeling tone, the inner feeling tone, the enthusiasm, the zeal. We're dialing up the frequency because you know what? That enthusiasm is contagious to others, to energy, to the world around us. One inspired person can shift an entire environment. One energized leader can elevate an entire team. I think we've all experienced this, especially we look to the sports world for this, right? And great coaches, great team leaders, great captains. One person committed to growth can transform a family culture. What about the family dynamics, family systems? So ask yourself, where have you, hold on a second, excuse me, where have I lost enthusiasm? Good question to sit with. Another one for reflection. And what would help me reconnect the purpose Again, what is your purpose? Maybe rewrite your mission statement. Yeah, we all really should have a life mission statement. Then our goals should evolve out of that. All right, quote number 5 to wrap this thing up here today. We're going over time again. Quote number 5, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. And I think this may be Emerson's most famous insight, and really perhaps one of the most important insights for modern life. Because, man, we live in a world filled with pressure to compare, pressure to conform. Yeah, be like everybody else. Nobody's doing that. Do this, right? Pressure to perform according to someone else's expectations. Oh, how come you're not like everybody else, Johnson? But Emerson understood that authenticity is power. The strongest leaders are rarely copies. They are deeply grounded individuals, people who know who they are, people who are internally directed, people who do not constantly abandon themselves to fit external approval. Now, this doesn't mean refusing feedback. It means refusing to lose yourself. Professionally, authenticity creates trust. People can feel when someone is genuine. And I can. I know it all the time, man. Something's off here, right? And I'm sure you've felt that many times. That's what we're talking about here. We can feel when someone is genuine personally. In the personal arena, authenticity creates peace, right? We know who we are. We know where we're going. We know what we want. We know who we are being. You know why? Because there's a tremendous emotional exhaustion in pretending to be someone you are not. Or maybe moving into a greater version of ourselves and moving to the energy and into the energy and frequency of that now. But we're not pretending to be someone we are not. Growth is not becoming artificial. It is becoming more fully yourself, more honest, more aligned, more awake. Perhaps one of the greatest forms of personal development is simply this: having the courage to live from your real center, the authentic you. So there you got it. All right. I was just inspired to do this. I love Emerson. Let let's let Emerson leave us with a little bit of a challenge here. Again, application and action. Look within, trust your direction, decide who you are becoming, set some goals, reconnect with enthusiasm, and have the courage to live authentically. Because this greatness is not reserved for a select few. Yeah, well, not me, but I hear that all the time. Greatness is not reserved for a select few. It emerges wherever people become intentional about growth. And that's what my life work is all about. My own growth and helping you along your path too. And remember this, your future is not merely something waiting for you. It is something you are actively shaping right now in this moment. As you listen to these words, in thought, word, and action, you're making choices. What direction are you going with this? Your choices, not mine. You're actively shaping through your thoughts, your choices, your identity, and your willingness to keep growing. And perhaps that is the real work of life, right? Becoming fully who you are created to be. Reach out to me. I'd love to help you. I'd love to help your organization, your ministry, your company, your small business. Love to have a conversation with you. Successappointment.com. That's going to do it, everyone. You've been listening to the Genesis Frequency Podcast with me, Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmyna, and I wish for you an infinitely spectacular day. God bless you.